صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة ونحن له عابدون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear children. Did you notice we learned so many names of Allah, of how He does favors for us? He gives us gifts and does karam on us. How is Allah able to give us so much? He even gives us better than what we asked for, better than we were expecting. Think about it for a moment. Is there anything that Allah is unable to give? And how is it that Allah is able to give us so much? That He is able to provide for all of His creatures all the time, every single day? How is that possible? He is able to answer all the du'as, no matter how much we ask Him and how frequently we ask Him. He gives and He gives and He gives. And His treasures don't run out, they never run out. Allah is Al Ghani, the rich, the self sufficient, the one who is completely and absolutely free from all wants and deficiencies. He is not in need of His creation or any actions of His creation. Rather, we are completely in need of Him. We are full of need, and He is free of all needs. If all of the creation from the first to the last were to rise up in one place and make dua to Him, and He granted their request, it would not decrease from His treasures. To Him belong the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and He has no partners in His kingdom. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O my servants, I have forbidden dhulm on myself, and I have made it forbidden amongst you. So do not oppress one another. O my servants, all of you have gone astray, except those that I have guided. So seek guidance from me, and I shall guide you. O my servants, all of you are hungry except those whom I have fed. So seek food from me, and I shall feed you. O my servants, all of you are naked except those whom I have clothed. So seek clothing from me, and I shall clothe you. O my servants, you commit sins by day and night, and I forgive all sins. So seek forgiveness from me, and I shall forgive you. O my servants, you will not attain harming me so as to harm me, and you will not attain benefiting me so as to benefit me. O my servants, if the first of you and the last of you, and the humans of you and the jinn of you were all the most pious as the most pious heart of any individual among you, then that would not increase my kingdom even a little bit. O my servants, the first of you and the last of you, and the humans of you and the jinn of you were all as wicked as the most wicked of you, that would not decrease my kingdom even a little bit. O my servants, if the first of you and the last of you, and the humans of you and the jinn of you were all to stand together in one place and ask of me, and I were to give everyone what they requested, then that would not decrease what I possess, except what is decreased of the ocean when a needle is dipped into it. O my servants, it is but your deeds that I account for you, and that I will return you the reward. So he who finds good, let him praise Allah, and he who finds evil, let him blame no one but himself. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, there lived a man, his name was Qarun. Some say he was the cousin of Musa alayhi salam. Qarun was extremely rich, but he was a rude man. He was extremely rich and had a huge treasure. His treasure was so huge that the keys of his treasure, it was so difficult to carry the keys. Even a lot of strong men would become burdened by carrying his keys. They say that the keys of Qarun's treasure were made of leather. Each key was like a finger, and each key was made for a separate storeroom. When he rode anywhere, the keys would be carried on 60 mules with white blazes on their forehead and white feet. So even just the keys of his treasures were so many. So imagine the treasure. Imagine what was in those storerooms that carried all the treasure. Some people saw how rich he was and they wanted to be like him. And there were some really wise people around him as well who advised him that, oh Qarun, don't be so proud of your money and don't show off. Don't be arrogant and proud of your wealth. Thank Allah for what you have. And don't forget about the hereafter. Remember, these blessings are only an enjoyment for a short time. You should do good deeds in the world so that you can earn in the hereafter. Qarun replied to them, this has been given to me only because of the knowledge I possess. I have no need of your advice. Allah has only given me this wealth because He knows that I deserve it and because He loves me. He has given it to me because He knows I'm fit for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about Qarun in the Quran. And after telling us about how he was arrogant towards his people and transgressed, Allah tells us how he and his house and all his possessions was swallowed by the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused the earth to open up and Qarun with all of his treasure went inside the earth and the earth closed up. Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives the rizq and He's the one who withholds it. Wealth, money, property, lots and lots of riches does not mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with the one who's rich. He gives to those Allah loves and He also gives to those whom He does not love. So we learn many things from the story of Qarun. Being rich is not always a good thing. We also learn that we should not boast about what we have. We also learn that whatever we have has been given to us by Allah, and Allah can take it away just as easily. Then we should be grateful for what we have, and we shouldn't think that we achieved anything good or any wealth by ourselves. It is always from Allah. Allah is Al Ghani, and when He is pleased with someone, He gives them ghina. Ghina doesn't always mean riches. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَوَجَدْكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى, and He found you poor and enriched you, gave you ghina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was never a rich man. He lived with his wives. They each had a small house as big as a small room. Sometimes they didn't even have any food. But Allah says He enriched our Prophet. What this means is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him contentment, happiness and pleasure in his heart, which is happiness and peace in the heart. When you are satisfied and pleased with what you have, it is the greatest blessing. It is much greater than a lot of wealth and property. So, what should we do when Allah is Al Ghani? Ask Allah for His blessings. And don't ask people. Don't keep asking people, but only ask Allah. Keep away from asking people and don't depend on them. Don't nag people. Don't insist. Don't keep asking, give me this, give me that. But make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for ghina in your heart. Ask Allah to give peace in your heart. Use the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you to please Him. And spend your money on the poor. Be generous. And Allah will give you even more.
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن الله لهو